Good morning, and welcome to the 20th official meeting of Season 2. Put your mouse wiggler on to keep the AI overlords from knowing you're experiencing happiness, and get ready for a meeting you actually want to listen to. Welcome to As Per My Last podcast.
Today's episode has been thoughtfully organized into the following agenda. First, we'll start with a little water cooler chat. Just everyday stuff to fill those awkward silences in the elevator or while you're standing there pretending to check your phone. Topics today include Lakers sold for $12.5 billion, a $2 billion increase from the initial controlling stake in 2025. Scientists can now regrow tooth enamel. Bye-bye cavities. Watch out, dentists. Penn State frat mistakenly became a cocaine cartel. And survey finds half of customer experiences fail.
Next, we'll move into our main discussion topic, confidence. The idiots who have too much and the geniuses who don't have enough. Next, our most cathartic weekly initiative, Fuck 'em All Friday. This week, we aim our collective hatred at overconfident idiots who ruin everything. And in our final segment, the coverage doc, we'll give some guidance on the latest season of House of the Dragon and Kevin Hart's new movie, 72 Hours. So unlike being on Game of Thrones as a main character, this is a safe space for every corporate employee. So lift your head above the laptop screen every so often and try to survive the inbox avalanche.
So thanks for attending today's session. Participation is optional, frustration is expected, and your sanity is still under review. Let's get started.
As per my last podcast with your host, Greg and Eric.
Beautiful.
All right. Welcome back to Water Cooler Weekday Update, where we cover the stories you need to know so you can participate in workplace small talk without accidentally asking someone how their weekend was on a Wednesday.
4 stories today. The Lakers are somehow worth even more money. Scientists may have figured out how to regrow tooth enamel. Penn State apparently had Narcos Greek life, and customer service is failing only half the time. Let's get into it.
First up, the Lakers are being sold for $12.5 billion.
Jesus Christ. It's especially insane because the controlling stake changed hands last year at $10 billion valuation.
So basically, someone owned the Lakers for a year and made roughly $2.5 billion in appreciation.
Meanwhile, I owned a Honda for a year and someone owed more money than when I bought it.
$12.5 billion for a basketball team. Unbelievable.
Honestly, at this point, professional sports franchises aren't teams. They're Pokemon cards for billionaires.
Look what I got.
I'd catch them all. Is that a first edition Lakers?
Yeah, holographic LeBron.
Not much.
$12.5 billion.
Nice. Mine's the Hornets.
Oh, sorry about that.
Except it comes with the starter jacket. And imagine trying to explain this investment to your financial advisor.
So what percentages of your portfolio would you like allocated to equities?
No, I want the Lakers.
Bonds?
Lakers.
International exposure?
No. God. Dawn chick.
And apparently the value went up $2.5 billion in less than a year.
Which finally answers the question. Yes, there is an investment that outperforms the S&P 500.
You just need $10 billion to get started.
Gosh, let me shake up the couch cushions. All right, next story. Scientists have developed a gel that could help regrow damaged tooth enamel.
Which could potentially mean fewer cavities, less sensitivity, and fewer fillings.
Wish I had less sensitivity. So after decades of dentists telling us once enamel's gone, it's gone.
Science just walked into the room like...
Actually...
Dentists everywhere just felt the same way Blockbuster did when Netflix showed up.
You're telling me people might not need to come back every 6 months so I can tell them they don't floss enough?
Just went through it recently, so I can't help with that. Yeah, I'm interested in how this changes dental appointment.
Right now, the dentist looks in your mouth and immediately starts judging your entire lifestyle.
Do you drink coffee?
Yes.
Red wine?
Maybe.
Do you floss?
I mean, define floss.
Every day?
A lot of them.
But if they can regrow enamel, we're entering a dangerous era.
These people are going to start treating their teeth like cell phone batteries.
Yeah, I know I'm destroying them. I'll just replace them later.
Not due for breakfast.
Scheduled for lunch.
What do we, DK Metcalf? Jawbreaker before bed.
Don't worry, I've got enamel gel.
We're going to need Invisalign, whitening strips, and now...
Tooth Rogaine.
Yeah.
And now we arrive at easily the most cinematic story of the week.
Authorities say a cocaine trafficking operation involving Penn State students and 2 fraternities resulted in 14 people being charged.
There are allegations that cocaine was being packaged in fraternity houses. Students traveled between Philadelphia and New York to obtain it, and one alleged dealer reportedly accepted payments through Venmo.
Which is where this story stops being Narcos and becomes Narcos Gen Z.
Yep, Pablo Escobar had an international money laundering empire.
Yeah, these guys were allegedly like...
Just Venmo me.
What's your username?
My actual name.
Perfect.
This has all the makings of the next Jonah Hill movie.
Absolutely. 21 Jump Street, Penn State.
And the movie practically writes itself with the character names itself.
Blow Paterno.
Pablo Pledgecabar.
Blow Pa.
Nittany Lines.
I'm retiring Sandusty from consideration.
Yeah, it's a dark time. Yeah, we're moving past that one immediately.
It's probably where they started the cocaine use. But apparently the alleged operation wasn't exactly generating cartel money.
Which is my favorite part. These college drug dealers' story. When you're 21, $73,000 sounds like you have generational wealth.
Around campus like Warren Buffett.
Drinks are on me.
Meanwhile, Pablo Escobar was estimated at one point to be worth tens of billions of dollars.
So you're not Pablo Escobar.
You're Pablo intern.
You're the unpaid summer associate at Medellin.
And using Venmo is unbelievable.
No, get over that. That's how the cops got him. Oh, it's unbelievable. Because what are people putting in the memo?
Pizza.
Every single Tuesday?
Textbooks.
$400? Actually, that's cool.
Organic chemistry.
Technically.
Chemistry was involved.
Yeah, yes. And one of the accused reportedly thought his arrest was a fraternity prank when the cops busted in.
Oh, imagine being so deep into fraternity life that police storm the building and your first thought is,
guys, this is hilarious.
Sir, that's a taser.
Wow. Pledging has gotten worse.
For real. And the dude actually said, I'm going to fuck you up to the cops. I can't believe that shit.
Smart. I'm sure only positive things came from the result of that.
Yeah, 100%. And our next story, a new survey says roughly half of customer experiences are failing.
Half?
Yeah, which seems low.
Yeah, this is certainly one of those glasses half empty approaches. Who are these other 50% having successful customer experiences?
Yeah, are they the fucking purchasers of the cocaine at Penn State? Because every customer service interaction now begins with,
please describe your problem in a few words.
My internet isn't working.
It sounds like you're asking about billing.
No.
Okay, let's start over.
Representative.
I'm sorry. I didn't understand that.
Human.
You'd like more information about our holiday hours?
Eventually you start negotiating with the robot like you're in a hostage situation.
Get in there. Listen to me carefully. I know there's a human being somewhere in this building.
Companies are obsessed with customer experience.
Entire departments.
Dashboards.
Surveys.
Net promoter scores.
Journey maps.
And then you call because they're charged you twice in here.
Your estimated wait time is 94 minutes.
But don't worry.
Your call is very important.
Apparently just not important enough to answer.
Then they'd have to do something. So let's recap today's water cooler weekday update.
So the Lakers gained billions in value faster than most of us can earn enough credit card points for a free flight.
Scientists may eventually be able to regrow tooth enamel, meaning the human race is one step closer to eating Sour Patch Kids without consequences.
And we got GLP-1s, 2 steps. Penn State allegedly gave us Narcos Fraternity Row.
With the world's least sophisticated money laundering operation.
If customer experiences are failing,
all the other half are still on hold.
And that's your weekly water cooler weekday update.
You're now informed enough to talk to coworkers.
But please don't.
Definitely don't. On to the main topic.
So did you want to start us off on this one?
Yeah, so much like the alleged cocaine frat bros, which, by the way, is still, I already see the movie happening there. Today's main topic is all about confidence. We figured we'd talk about confidence. We've been kind of chatting about that with a complete lack thereof, right? Why do so many people walk into a room completely unqualified and act like they own the place, while the most talented person there is quietly questioning whether they belong? Let's talk about confidence in the workplace and generally in life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I was just I was like, what makes a person confident, right? Like what, you hear about these innate abilities that people just have, and some people have this glowing aura about them, right? And then other people just kind of push back and they don't stand out. So I started just kind of digging through and reading through it, and it just basically, the summary is, I was like, well, help me understand what confidence really includes, right? And it said, confidence isn't believing you're the smartest or the most qualified person in the room. It's being willing to act even when you are not sure you are ready to act. Most confident people still have doubts. They've just learned not to let those doubts make decisions for them. Competence is when you can, what you can do, while confidence is being willing to do it. And I thought that was interesting, because we're all competent, but it's the ability to act that I think is the deciding factor between it.
It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that confidence has to do with belief, right? There's trust. You trust in yourself that you can do this. Because the word also means like you take somebody into your confidence, or you're a confidence man, which means you're a scam artist, right? It's like getting somebody to believe, to trust you when they shouldn't, So like confidence is about not just competence, which is like your ability to actually do something, but your ability to believe you could do it, which is really, it's all in your head, like literally.
Yeah, 100%. It's you ever hear the line, it's I'm not cocky, I'm confident. And it's the lack of, I feel like it's the lack of fear mechanism, or identifying how to suppress that fear. Because a lot of us are capable of doing all these things, right? We talk about the competence aspect of things, but it's really just, I think think about it in terms of middle school or high school or whatever it is. Let's say you have a school dance and you have the ones that usually are most successful with meeting a significant other or girls or, people wanting to be around them because they were the ones that got out on the dance floor and they didn't care how they looked. They just let it happen. Whereas you have somebody like me where I'm sitting in the back, I'm like, look at this fool. But who am I to judge? Like they're the one making it happen while I'm just sitting back and just like, I don't know. But it comes with that fear mechanism. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? Would I fail? Would I fail up? So it's looked at like if failure happens for somebody that has that level of confidence, if failure happens, it's just an obstacle in the path to success. So it's like, it's a little detour, little road bump, not a big deal.
Yeah, it's funny. I never really connected these dots, but like at work, I'm putting on a show. I'm like creating a fake person, right? And years ago, I learned from different, some of these stupid corporate like courses you have to take and whatever about the wasted time that people, like the amount of time people waste blaming each other and worrying about like what went wrong and all this different shit. So this thing essentially just said like, if people are spending all this time blaming each other and you have anything to do with it, just take the blame,
Yeah.
And then that way you can stop talking about whose fault it is and you can start talking about what you're going to do to fix it. And like to your point about the mistakes, ever since, and I do that all the time. Like, and when I do that, and since I've done that, what I've learned is that, as much as everybody tries to avoid blame because they think there's something like some horrible consequence from that, nothing's happened. If anything, I've gotten more confident at work because nothing has happened to me for that, which is counterintuitive.
Yeah, but it comes from a vast majority of us, you and I are probably in the same boat, where you work for these like toxic workplaces and they cast this level of doubt. So they make it so that you start inherently thinking that you can't mess up, or they give you misdirection or not enough direction, so that they basically squash the confidence out of you, And I think that's what the problem is. And then it's almost like this level of, fear to fail, but it's like, what are we really failing at the end of the day? It's not like we're causing the company to go bankrupt. Like I don't have enough influence to like make the company's lights not turn on. All right, mistakes happen, shit happens, but I think that it also comes from the top where they're always looking to just cast blame. So it's just easier to kind of pick you out. And that's how people don't progress with this level of confidence. But I almost feel like it's a little more nefarious in the sense, because if they kind of like wring out that confidence level in you, you're probably less likely to question things, business direction, operational process. Why are we doing anything? Like what are we trying to do?
Question them as leaders.
Yeah. Question them as leaders. Ask for a raise. Any of that stuff. So I'm sure there's people out there that'll say that's not how it's done. Whether it's direct or indirect, it definitely happens in the business place. And the preference is that you're a good soldier. But at the end of the day, like I'm not on the fucking front lines fighting. The only fucking war I'm fighting in corporate America is like whether or not I can pay my mortgage. Yeah, and then
I think
in the fucking trenches.
One thing I've seen. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said I'm in the trenches of that shit.
Well, exactly. Yeah, we are in the front lines in that sense. I mean, I think the thing that I've heard from you and from many of the people that are the least confident but are the most competent is that you have a sense of what you believe, success should look like, because you are interested in being successful and interested in working hard and ultimately having a positive impact in your career and whatever else, right? But when that is divorced from what you're actually required to do at work, you end up just hurting yourself. Like we and many of the people we know work in places where the job itself does not actually expect very much of you. But like, I can't just give what they expect. I can't put in less than what I would need to put in to feel good about myself, and that's because that's part of how I get confidence, in myself, like just as a person, but it screws me, because I'm not actually required to put that in.
Would you say that in your personal, well, this could be two different things, but in your personal life, do you consider yourself confident? And in your professional life, do you consider yourself confident? Or are they varying degrees?
I think I am in both, but it varies. I think that any normal person is going to have good days and bad days. I think that there are some things that are more important to me, so I'm more afraid if I fuck them up. And so that can come come out as a lack of confidence. But really, it's just like an increase in care, you know?
Yeah, I get that. I do find like in terms of confidence, like I feel like in my personal life, I'm very confident. I'm very headstrong. Like I feel like I make good decisions, things like that. But in my professional life, I guess there's a level of anxiety that comes into it, like whether to your point, like whether it's like personal beliefs that I have, or just how I am as a person, or my expectations, whatever the hell it might be. But I find that more often than not, let's say I'm just applying for a job, there's always this level of doubt that's cast, and I lose a level of confidence. Like, for example, like let's say you're on LinkedIn or wherever the fuck you apply for jobs. They're all terrible. Indeed, whatever. And you see a job, let's say it's vice president of account management or some shit like that, right? Some generic term. And you sit there and it says like manage people. It's like I've never been in a capacity where I've directly managed people under me, right? But it's a broad term. It's like I've managed people, I've managed projects, I've managed things, like I just haven't had direct reports. And then you start casting doubt, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm confident. Like, and then I'll just stop the application, which is probably the wrong approach. It's just like applying at this point. But like it's also I think you maybe deal with this too. Like your head is just too active and thinking scenarios through, and it's probably the anxiety part of it. But it's difficult. It's very difficult.
I think that there is something insidious about working for a place that has lower expectations of you than you have of yourself. Because when you start to look outside of the organization, you assume that they'll have expectations that are more in line with what you imagine success to be. And then you're like, oh, well, if they expect that, I mean, I haven't been doing that for ages. I've been getting away with this bullshit because this place sucks, and it leads into, there's this thing, this is the fancy term for it, but it's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is more or less like my 10th grade physics teacher when he used to say, the more you know, the less you know, which is like the people that don't know shit usually are the ones that feel like they know the most and like feel like they're really confident. But then if you know a lot about it, you know enough to realize how much there is to know, like how difficult the whole thing is. And so you're less confident, you suddenly find yourself doubting yourself. And it's a lot like what you just described, where you're just like, okay, when I think about the different scenarios and what it means to actually do it and having some experience with doing it, knowing how good it can be or not be, that makes you doubt because you know what it is to be good at it. But when you're just like, whatever, like I'm good at everything. Of course I can do it. You don't give a fuck and you'll act very confident,
Yeah. I think it comes from being good at a lot of things and not great at one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's very difficult. Like, I feel like I could do anything. If I'm put in a role, I could figure out accounting. But did I go to school for accounting? No, but I don't think it's that difficult conceptually to figure it out. And I'm not downplaying accounting particularly. I'm not trying to take it out on them. But I feel like competent people, if they have the right level of confidence, could pretty much do all these things, or at least fake their way through it, until they're exposed. But very rarely I feel like confident people are ever exposed. How many executives have you come across where they speak with conviction and talking about these things, and when you actually talk to them, they have no fucking clue about what the company even sells half the time? It's like, how are you at this level?
It's funny as you were saying that, it reminds me of AI, because when you're looking at something from the outside and you're trying to figure out if somebody's good at it, really you don't know enough about it to know if they're good at it or not, right? So some of it is just how confident are they in their ability to do it. And so using that as a gauge, you're kind of like, well, they're fucking downright arrogant, so they must be pretty good at this. And or there are certain other like minor markers, right? You can tell like there's some degree of competence based off your limited understanding. And that's where AI is funny, because it's like, it obviously is not only not confident, it's certain. It doesn't act in grayscale, it acts in binary. So it's like, I know because I'm told that I know, and so I'm going to tell you things or this or that. And it convinces people that it knows. But then you look at actual like experts at stuff and they're like, oh no, the AI totally fucked that up. But like, unless you're an expert in it, how are you going to know that?
Oh, it's so true. I mean, it reminds me of philosophy, right? It's like the Descartes, I think, therefore I am, so AI is just like, I think, therefore I exist, and what I say, it works. Like, this is what it is. And I think that's actually
the difference. That's the difference between thinking and doing what AI does. Like, if AI thought, it would realize it's not that good good and it wouldn't be confident. But it doesn't think, it just processes numbers.
I mean, maybe at the end of the day, that's the way we all should be, is just execute and stand by it. I mean, how many executives have you been part of where you're like, I don't know if that's the right decision on that one? Let's say you're putting a proposal together or approach a customer or whatever it is. And they're like, no, this is the right way. And even if it goes bad, it's like, that was great. It's like, what? Were we in the same meeting? What the fuck?
Well, I think that, and then to your point, I mean, I think a lot of it is that a lot of being an executive is just a poker game, And so like they bluff their ability to do stuff by just showing confidence. And then after just saying it went great, no matter how it went, as long as you say it went great and you're confident enough people will be like, well, I guess, I mean, it must have gone great. Look at how confident he is,
Yeah, you speak it into existence. That's really what it comes down to. But I guess because we lack confidence, or at least me anyway, like I see, I don't feel like I lack confidence, but I guess in certain aspects I do. Like, and maybe I'm overly thinking, but I'd sit there and be like, that was horrendous. There was nothing good about that. But then again, I guess if you're in a meeting with an executive, there's no deliverables on their end. It all falls on you anyway. So of course it's a great meeting, because whether it goes good or bad, it's all your problem,
Exactly. Well, yeah, they can say they did their part well.
Yeah, they showed up.
That pesky execution part that nobody cares about, that's on you.
Yeah, no pressure or anything, but it's all hinging on your ability to execute on it. Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Maybe that's why my confidence is in the gutter.
It's one of the reasons why I hate having executives in meetings, is that they'll just be like, oh yeah, we can do all that. We can do everything. We're amazing. We can, we'll bake you dinner at the same time, like all this stuff. And meanwhile, I'm looking up recipes being like, how do I make that dinner?
Yeah, you're sitting there, you're like, oh, do we work for the same company?
Exactly. They're very confident making all those promises that I have to deliver on.
Oh man, I hope someday that I get to deliver, or like have other people deliver on what I say. That'd be nice.
Yeah. See, the problem is unfortunately, you would understand who's on the other side of it. And you probably wouldn't want to overpromise because you wouldn't want to put them in that position.
Oh yeah, you got the scars, right? You're like, I've been through this battlefield. Like, I would never want to leave you hanging like this. But I will say, like, for the general audience and everything like that, anybody who maybe lacks confidence or feels like they need a little step up, a good example of just the idea of getting rid of the fear of failure, ripping the Band-Aid off, is probably our podcast here, right? Like, we were talking for the longest time about putting something together, being able to showcase the business world, put some funny spin on it, talk about some of the things that we interact with day to day, the evolution of how we got from the beginning to where we are today. And I'm not saying we're experts by any stretch of the imagination, but we were confident in our abilities individually, and we just said, you know what, fuck it, we have nothing to lose, let's just do it. And I think that's really what separates people that are confident and unconfident, is that fear of failure is just not there. And if you fail, big deal. But I wouldn't say that this is a failure. I'm just saying that by us just executing and trying, it's more than most people will ever even attempt.
100%. And I think we have both become a lot more confident from doing it. And that's because that's how our brains work, right? We're of the variety to want to be competent, to be confident. Like, I am less fearful of failing now that I've managed not to fail, what I feel like many times. But I mean, on the opposite side of that coin is the imposter syndrome, right? Like, when you're put in a position or you have an opportunity and you're afraid that you aren't up to task, you can't do the thing that you're like to be doing. And one of the things that I love about being as old as I am, not that there are a lot, this is definitely one of them, is that I've been in enough rooms and seen enough of the people that are supposed to be good at shit to know they don't fucking know. Nobody knows. We're all fucking making this shit up. Nobody knows.
Oh, so we're playing a version of House, right? It's funny how everybody goes, oh, what you get out of high school, it doesn't matter. Once you're grown up, it doesn't matter. I'm like, no, everything in your younger life plays a major factor in how the world operates as an adult. Like, it's just, you don't get nap times and, the ability to do whatever the fuck you want whenever you want. But all the other shit is real impactful. But it's funny because you play golf, Eric? You play it all?
I have. I took it in college, but honestly, I haven't played it in many, many years.
Yeah, I usually tell people I play like 1 once every 5 years. And it's like, like I could probably hang because I'm athletic, but for the most part, I don't consider myself a golfer, but people do a lot of it. And, sometimes you're getting offered to go and, play with a customer or whatever it is. And I lack confidence because I don't play enough, where I'm like, nah, you know what? Like that sounds great. Like drinking all day, not actually being in the office, but quote unquote doing business, getting raffles, eating food. Sounds fantastic. I love all aspects of that except for the golf piece of it. And I've done it a couple times. And every time I go, I say to myself, wow, these people play a lot of golf and they fucking suck. And
Yeah.
but I'm confident enough to know that I also suck, but I know that I'm better than these fucking idiots, right? So, it's a bit like it's the example that I have about lacking the confidence, but knowing full well that I am competent. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I feel like golf is a good analogy for this one.
Oh, it's a great example of that. Yeah. I mean, it reminds me, your comment about growing up also makes me think about how, when I went to college and I was in Boston. And so I knew and interacted with a lot of people in some of the Ivy Leagues around Boston and stuff. And like, what I grew to learn is that a lot of these kids, just by virtue of the fact that they grew up in these circles, were so confident at every level. Like they always felt like they belonged. They always felt like they deserved it. I mean, to the point where they were entitled pricks. But, part of being an entitled prick is just being confident that you deserve to be there, And it kind of like clicked something in me to be like, oh, I can just decide I deserve it, which sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. I'm not saying I always like feel that confident underneath, but I do feel as though I can put on that face of like, everybody's just making it up. They just feel like they deserve it because they have grown up in that environment where they were always told they deserved it. They got to go into the private schools, the private high school, the fucking big college, and they were given a job by daddy, and didn't matter how good they were, they always got it. And just because they felt like they deserved it,
Well, it's also to be fair, they also have a massive safety net that exists within their life. So they could go in and be as they want. And they could use their parents' connections and all this shit. And 9 times out of 10, it definitely helps. But they could also take on a business. And if it fails miserably, it doesn't matter because it's just money, Whereas you and I would be like, well, there goes my dinner for months, it's like there's no option to fail. And if you do, you're like, oh, fuck, I'm like really up shit's creek and there's no paddle to be found. So that does happen. But there is, that's one thing that people could safely do. Like if you're I hate to use this word, but like if you're a loser in high school, whatever it is, you decide to go to college, you could be whoever the fuck you want to be, right? Like, and people do that all the time. They put on this new persona, they become this new person. I don't necessarily believe in it. I've never changed who I am, but like you could simply do that. And then you could be able to attract a certain level of people. And that level of confidence can open up doors and windows and whatever else.
Well, that's it. I mean, some of it is, were you a loser in high school because you're actually a fucking loser? In which case, hey, whatever, you suck. But like, or were you a loser just because you were told you were? And it wasn't until you got out of that environment that you were able to just realize, oh, if I just believe in myself, I can do well. I can be whatever the fuck I want to be, Which honestly, I think this is a good time to transition, especially in light of, speaking of entitled pricks, to our Fuck 'em All Friday segment, which is, fuck the people that just take stuff that they don't deserve because they are just somehow overinflated and arrogant and confident to the point of excess, and deprive the world of people that do deserve it because they don't have the confidence, Fuck those people that sit in the spot when the music stops and the musical chairs of life. And now suddenly we don't have all this shit because some asshole who thinks he deserves everything is sitting in there instead.
Yeah, there's a fine line between being confident and the overconfident asshole aspect. Like you could have that level of confidence and you're like, great, okay, like you seem to be a good person, things are developing, going your way. But then the overconfident people, it's like, sky's definitely purple. It's like, the sky's not purple, Kevin. No, sky's definitely purple. It's like, no, you overconfident, like fucking imbecile. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, no, it isn't, And I just like that. I can't fucking can't stand. Like, not only do you lack confidence, your confidence is through the charts for no apparent reason. Like, there's no reason you should be confident. You are so fucking stupid. How the fuck is it even possible? How do you wake up every morning and this is who you are?
Right. And that's why they're so confident. That's what's so crazy. It's like, you're so confident because you're so fucking dumb.
Well, do you think there's a level of narcissism that goes with it, though? Like, where they're just like, yeah.
Of course. Yes, of course. Absolutely. I think that's central to being a fucking asshole that is overconfident. But the other kind of person I want to say, like, fuck you to, is people that don't care about anything. Because I think that it's really easy to be overconfident when you don't care about anything. That kind of nihilism is just as bad as being an idiot, in my view. Like, if you act like nothing matters, that sucks too. And it really demeans people that do believe in stuff and do care about stuff enough to want to be competent and, are trying to be good enough at it to deserve the confidence. So, like, fuck people that don't give a shit about anything.
Well, the people that don't give a shit about anything, and I try to, like, in corporate terms, I try to, like, make myself care less, but I obviously find myself screaming into the void because I do care. But that level of people, they're not just like, it's not just reserved for themselves where they just like, I don't care and the world fucking sucks and everything's gray and blah, 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 blah. It's like, if they don't keep it in their little fucking world, like, they make sure that everybody around them and on grand scales also feels that nothing matters and nothing's important. And that's even the worst part of it, is that it spreads like a fucking disease.
Yeah, and to your point, like, it's hard because I am envious of that sometimes. Both the idiots and the people that don't care, because I do, and I'm not an idiot, unfortunately, for me sometimes. So yeah, fuck them. Fuck them for ruining it for the rest of us that actually want things to be good and to try hard.
I will say, even in the book, A Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, he even says that. It's like, it's not about not caring about anything. It's about what you're choosing to care about. And I thought that that's like a very prolific statement from that book.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely a balance. But also, like, I don't hate on the people that do care, because I don't either, Like, I don't want to demean, I try hard not to, like, undermine things that they do and care a lot about,
Well, care leads to passion, and overpassionate people. Yeah, overpassionate people can be a little psychotic.
That's true too. Yes, that's true. All right, great. Well, yeah, I think that was a good, and especially after having some of the major meetings we've had this week in our world, it feels good to say fuck you to overconfident pricks. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, I think we are close to the end of the episode. We have our last segment, the coverage doc, which, to those that aren't familiar, this is our new part of the show where we remind ourselves work's supposed to support life, not become it. Every week we review a few things that we use to try to forget about work for a minute. So as opposed to the rest of the episode where we talked about all things work, why it sucks, why it's cool, why everything in between, this is the part where we fucking turn off our work minds. No corporate lessons, productivity hacks, frustration about politics at offices, and blah, blah, blah. And we try to give you a little bit of feedback about stuff we did in our free time. So hopefully it helps you to use your free time a little bit better. So we'll give some brief grades, weekday and a weekend grade based off what you're going to be doing while you watch, or if anything. And then we'll have our bonus episode where we go into some of our actual opinions, regarding these things, if you're curious a little bit more about what we thought. So I think, Greg, you wanted to start us off?
Yeah, so I watched a new Netflix movie, which I feel like they didn't really promote, considering how big some of the names are that's in it. It's primarily the star is Kevin Hart, but it's a big cast of characters from SNL. Lots of SNL folks that are, I don't really know the cast like I used to, but every one of them is a cast member for SNL. That's part of the show, the movie. The movie's 72 hours, high level. Kevin Hart gets a accidental text about a group of 20-somethings that are planning a bachelor party for their friend. Kevin Hart's the older executive type, and then they decide to invite him sight unseen to this bachelor party in Miami. And in typical Kevin Hart fashion, a bunch of hijinks happen, some funny moments, but overall, yeah, it is what it is. But I gave it a weekday grade of a C. It's easy enough to kind of keep on in the background. You're not going to miss out much on some of the gags that they have or some of the jokes. Doesn't require a whole lot of paying attention. Good enough in the background or while you're kind of toiling away on your phone. And then a weekend grade, I give it a C+. It's not something that I would run to put on. I think the runtime's like maybe a little over 100 minutes, which I think is your sweet spot, Eric.
Yes.
But it, it's good enough. I didn't think it was like laugh out loud rolling around, but it's, quick and easy, and it's very Kevin Hardy, if that makes any sense. So
yeah, some good escapism. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, and then we actually both watched something this week, which was convenient for us. Which, well, although I'm not sure we necessarily enjoyed it, but that was the latest season of the Game of Thrones spinoff, House of the Dragon. So just for my brief Grades, for me, I thought it just literally just because of the, fourth grader that's still in me that loves seeing dragons on the big screen, I give it a weekday grade of an A minus because not paying attention and actually just seeing dragons every now and again is kind of cool. But a weekend grade of a C minus because if you actually start listening to what these people are saying, it becomes a lot less cool pretty fast.
Yeah. So I finished it too. Season 3 that just ended. Everybody, all the critics are saying, outside of us being critics, said, "Oh, this is the best one." I beg to differ. I give it a weekday grade of C plus. To your point, the graphics are cool. Storyline's challenging, but it's you could look at some cool fight scenes for the most part. But on the weekend, would I waste my time watching it? Fuck no. I wouldn't spend an ounce of my energy. I'd rather go cut my lawn than fucking watch House of the Dragon. To be fair, so and I give it
I'm with you. Excellent. All right, so that was our episode. Thank you everyone for listening. Please give us a like, follow, or subscribe on Spotify, Apple, Substack, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'd love to hear from you, hear what you're reading, hear how you're dealing with the burnout and the office bullshit, or if you're interested in being on the show, please give us a shout at aspermylastpodcast@gmail.com, and then take a look at our Substack and our new comic strip, The Supply Closet. We look forward to listening on a future episode. Thanks all.
Thanks all.
As per my last podcast with your host, Greg and Eric.
I'm sure there's people out there that'll say that's not how it's done.
Fuck them for ruining it for the rest of us that actually want things to be good and to try hard.